What is up, everybody? In this video, we're going to be tackling the question, how do I stop binge eating? Weight Loss Wednesday. This is the part of the day, part of the week, where I help you see weight loss success. Now, the question today is, how do I stop binge eating? A lot of people are facing this problem out there in the world. They come home and they're just stuffing themselves full of food. They can't stop. They're like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Oh. So let's tackle this. Let's deal with this. The first question I would like to ask to you binge eaters out there is, what are you binge eating on? Very rarely, it's like, oh man, Clinton, I just come home and those bags of carrots, bro. Oh, I just can't help myself, man. Or man, those broccoli heads, bro. I just can't stop eating those broccoli heads. A lot of the times, people are binge eating on really refined foods, processed foods, junky sort of foods that are really loaded with salt and sugar and oil. A lot of the times that's what they're binge eating on. So the question is, are you binge eating because of some psychological old trauma, deep wound sort of vibe? Or are you binge eating because you're eating stimulating food that gives you all these pleasure center rewards, dopamine spikes, and it makes you feel like crappy, and so it brings you down again, and for you to lift yourself back up, you're eating those very same foods again. So it's like this cycle. So that's the first thing I would ask. What are you actually binge eating on? And if you are binge eating on processed refined foods, recognize that it's probably not psychological problems, and it's probably the very foods that you're choosing to binge eat on. And you can swap that out with other foods like the rice, potatoes, the beans, etc., the fruits. And if needs be, find ways to make those pleasurable and eat those, because at least you'll be getting whole plant foods and you'll be less likely to binge, because it's just so satiating, so filling. Again, try to binge eat on a big heads of broccoli, etc., or carrots and stuff like that, or loads of apples, or just foods that have got fiber in them. It's a lot harder, okay? So that's the first one. What are you binge eating on? The second one is, are you eating enough? And this is a massive one. I could drop the mic right now and get off the stage. Most people aren't eating enough food. So by the time it comes to dinner time, they're in a caloric deficit, and they're just eating and eating and eating and eating. And they think to themselves, what's wrong with me? I just can't stop eating. You're in a caloric deficit. Of course you can't stop eating. You're freaking hungry. You haven't had enough. And then if you throw in, people are also exercising, which, your body is demanding more energy from you. Of course you're going to be ravenous by the time it comes to dinner time, etc. Of course you're going to be eating a lot more. Whenever I'm doing my 20,000, 30,000 steps a day sort of weeks, my smoothies that I drink normally, one of my smoothies is around 1,500 calories. Whenever I'm walking 30,000 steps a day, those smoothies feel like nothing. My caloric needs go up. Okay? So, are you binge eating because you're in a caloric deficit, you're not eating enough, and you're maybe making up for it at the end of the day? So that's another question. The last one is, are you bored? Maybe you're just bored. If the first question is yes, I'm eating whole plant foods, and the second one is, yes, I'm eating enough, and even though I'm exercising, I'm eating enough to make up for the exercise, but I still keep eating, there's something wrong. Maybe you're just bored. Maybe you're just bored. And in that case, switch your mind to your passions. Do what you love. Find a hobby, something to take your mind off. You're watching this video right now. So maybe you're just bored and you need sort of stimulation in the form of like an activity, a passion, something you're into. Maybe take up reading or something, but just find a way to replace that boredom with something that you're interested in. But hands down, it's probably you're eating junky food and you're not eating enough. So by switching that to choosing whole plant foods, you can get to the point where I'm at, is where I can eat as much as I want. If I feel like I'm hungry, I eat more food, and I'm rarely ever boredom eating. I eat 2 large meals. That's what I do. It's not all the time, but it's what I really like. Just 2 large meals, and then I'm good. I just do other things. But you really have to look at those 3 things. What are you eating? Are you eating enough? And are you bored? And hopefully that helps. So if you like this video, please give it a like, comment, share, let me know, what do you think about these 3 factors? And if you want to support this channel even further, I've got a Patreon where I release exclusive content, early releases, and on my other works. So with that being said, peace, love, veganism, like and subscribe. I'm out.